I didn't press the record button. Okay, so this is basically the conjugation for the past of the verb to be. I was, you were, he was, she was, it was, we were, and they were. If we keep moving here, we have this little timeline. Okay, we have past, we have present, and we have future. So in here, let me, sorry about the noise, guys. We have past continuous, all right, is going to be happening between past, all right, and let's say present, all right. So it's kind of like something that was happening in the past, but it was taking a long time, okay? So for example, I was watching TV at 10 p.m. yesterday. So if you say I watched TV, which would be only simple past, it's okay, but it implies it's an activity that's short, it's an activity that's quick. If you use was watching, it's more like long, it's longer, right? It takes more time. So this describes an event of duration in the past. It talks about what we were doing at a particular time in the past. Okay, so in present, it would be something like, my name is John and I'm standing in front of you talking, right? Present, we're using present continuous. I am standing. If that activity already passed, okay, then we would say his name was John and he was standing in front of us talking. So it's, well, you have to kind of picture in your mind is that is an activity that was happening for a long time, but it's now past, all right? And it probably took, you know, a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, you know, a considerable amount of time. Here we have some examples. So let me have Maria Quiroz. Can you help me read the first question? The teacher is asking a question. Can you read it?
Yes. What we're doing at 7 o'clock this morning.
Okay, thank you so much. What were you doing at 7 o'clock this morning? Okay, so what were you doing? We have multiple answers. Let me have Emmanuel. Can you help me read some of the answers?
I was having breakfast. I was sleeping. I was getting dressed. I was watching TV.
Very good. Just one little thing. We say dressed. I was getting dressed. Okay, so I was having breakfast. I was sleeping. I was getting dressed. I was watching TV. All those activities were happening for some minutes at least, right? It didn't happen right away. So that's why we're using past continuous. All you need to remember here is the verb to be in past plus ing, you know, in the main verb. So the main verb is going to be in a gerund form, okay? Here, for example, we have yesterday. Let me have Emily. Can you help me read these sentences, please?
I was listening to music. My mother was making dinner. My father was reading a book. My brothers were watching a movie.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Emily. So we have the only observation there is dinner. We say dinner. We don't say dinner. We say dinner. So this I over here, it's more like a dinner. Can you say it with me? Dinner.
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 Very good. So we don't say dinner because it's dinner. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. So here, guys, we have was and we have the ing. Was listening. My mother was making. My father was reading. My brothers were watching. Okay. Again, these are activities that take a little bit longer than just simple past, right? If we say I listened to music, that's fine, but it implies it was something brief, something quick. It makes more sense to say I was listening to music, okay? Usually because you want to expand more, you want to say more information about that activity. All right, then we have, let me move on. Okay, we have form. I was speaking on the phone. We were swimming in the river, for example. Here, what we have is, let's say, the formula of this, right? So we use the subject, I, he, she, or it, with what would be the correct form of the verb to be? Charlene, for example, can you tell me? I, he, she, and it takes what form of the verb to be? Was. Very good. So he, she, or it was. And then we use a verb, right? Any verb plus ing. All right. So whatever verb, it's just going to have ing. Sometimes the verb like swim, for example, we're going to have double M. So sometimes we double the letter, but that's just on particular cases, not always. How about Bernardo? Can you help me with the second one? You, we, and they. What's the form of the verb to be?
Were.
Were, right? You, we, and they were, and then
Plus
whatever.
verb.
Perfect. Plus ing. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. So that's the structure, the form. We have some examples. Well, that's the correct answer. We have here some examples, right? Affirmative. I was playing, right? You were playing. He was playing. We were playing. They were playing. Let me have Isaac, can you help me with the negative forms? Can you read them for me?
I was not playing. You were not playing. He wasn't playing. We weren't playing. They weren't playing.
Very good. Perfect. Now, as you can see, we have also contractions here, right? Instead of saying I was not playing, you could say he wasn't playing, I wasn't playing. So we can use wasn't, weren't, whenever I want to contract, right? These cases, we generally don't emphasize the negative, but if we want to make sure the negative is important, we're gonna leave it alone, right? If you think that it's important, maybe you said it once, you said it twice, you said it 3 times, and the person did not understand. So in those cases, we're going to leave it alone. I was not playing, for example. If you say, oh yeah, you were playing, I saw you, blah, blah, blah. I say, no, I was not playing. But if the intention is not to emphasize the negative, we would say, I wasn't playing, right? Because that doesn't have any, let's say, emphasis. It's just contracted. Okay, can I have Maria Paula, can you help me with the questions?
Was I playing? Were you playing? Was he playing? Were he playing? Were they playing?
Good, thank you so much. Here's where we playing. Can you say it again?
Were we playing?
Perfect. All of these questions are yes or no questions, so we're gonna, rise up at the end. We're gonna rise the intonation at the end. It's gonna be, was I playing? Were you playing? Was he playing? So playing is gonna be the word that's gonna have the emphasis at the end, all right? Thank you so much, Maripa. Let's continue. We have, 1 second. All right. Over here, we have complete the following sentences. This is a little practice. I would like to have Alejandra, can you help me complete these sentences?
Okay. You were studying when she called. She wasn't playing basketball last week. They were singing together.
Okay, so good. You can use negative or you can use affirmative. It doesn't really matter, but as long as you're using the correct conjugation, right? You were, she was, they were. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Let's move on. That's in affirmative. All right. Here we have, if we don't have the not in parentheses or in brackets, we're going to try to do it in affirmative. Then we're going to practice negative. So let me have Naiseth, can you help me do from 1 to 5, please?
Okay, Yuli was sleeping at 3 o'clock. You were studying at 3 o'clock. Luke was reading at 3 o'clock. I was working at 3 o'clock, and they were eating chocolate at 3 o'clock.
Very good. Thank you so much. So here, those are the correct conjugations. None of them have to be double, so all of them we just add ing. Study is the only one that we're going to keep the y, mantenemos la y, and we just add ing, is studying. All right. All right. Questions so far about past progressive, guys? Any questions, doubts about pronunciation? Everything seems clear? Okay. If you have a question at any moment, you can interrupt and ask me a question. All right. Those are the correct answers. Past continuous versus simple past. So now we're going to see which one to use in what cases, right? What contexts. So past continuous, as I already mentioned, it's sort of in between past and present, sort of, because it's going to take a little longer than just an event that happened in the past, right? It was a present time at that, let's say, specific time in the past. Maybe that's a little bit confusing, but it used to be present in the past for some minutes. So for example, I was watching TV when my sister knocked on the door. So here we have, I was watching TV. That's a long action, takes a little longer, maybe from 8 to 10, that's an example. When my sister knocked on the door, so that's a short action. Maybe it just happened at 9, and it's just gonna take like a few seconds, right? It's something really, really quick. So in this example, we're using both, right? Because maybe there's a long event and something interrupted, okay, when, and this is the interruption, let's say, right? So the sister interrupted the activity, which is the main activity, watching TV. So generally after when, this word, when, we're gonna use simple past. But before, so this is simple past, okay? Before, it's gonna be usually the main activity, which is past progressive, right? So a past continuous, whatever you wanna say it, it's the same thing. That's just a general rule. There are exceptions, but when is going to indicate simple past after and past continuous before. Let's move on to the next example. We have, all right, so we have past, again, it starts at 8, ends at 10, in between there's 9. So we have a long action and a short action. Who would like to tell me what the long action is? What do you see in that picture?
Do the homework.
Okay, so let's say she's, well, she's sort of watching TV, right?
Okay.
But you could say she's watching TV and doing homework at the same time. And I'm sure lots of you guys do that at the same time, right? Maybe you're doing both. But anyway, let's stick to watching TV, right?
Yeah.
So this is the long action. Now, Bernardo, the short action, what's the short action?
Change the channels.
The short action, what do you guys, what does it look like?
Knock the door.
Very good. So the way that we're gonna make the sentence would be how, for example? How would you transform it into a sentence? What's happening? Joining past and past continuous. For example, if you follow here, like this example, it's the same, right? I was watching TV when my sister knocked the door. I was doing homework maybe and watching TV when my sister knocked on the door. There's also another way. We could say, while my sister was watching TV, I knocked on the door. We're gonna see while over here, okay? So while it's another word, let's say indicator of a tense. So usually whatever is after while is going to be in ing, generally, okay? It's, again, there might be exceptions, but generally while indicates ing. When, we already said, is going to indicate what? Pamela, what's gonna indicate when?
Simple past.
Very good, simple past. So Pamela, how do you finish this sentence? How do you complete it?
While I was sleeping, the phone rang.
Perfect. So while I was sleeping, the phone rang, right? Rang is the past tense of ring. So let me show you here the examples. Oh, the answer, sorry, 1 second. While I was sleeping, the phone rang, okay? The activity that happened really quickly was the phone rang, but I was sleeping. We could also say, I was sleeping when the phone rang. So I could also use when. There's really no difference between that. Let me have Reina, can you help me complete these exercise over here?
Hello.
Hi.
The thief.
The thief.
The thief stole her clothes when she was swam.
Nope.
No.
You're mixing a lot of different tenses. All right. So let's see. What's the indicator? What's the word that indicates the tense? ¿Cuál es la palabra indicadora here? What do you think? It's the word that's going to help me decide. Or in other words, what's the main activity? What was happening? Any ideas?
No, teacher.
Okay. So here, this one is a little bit different, guys, because yes, this is one exception, all right? Es una excepción a lo que yo acabo de explicar. Por eso les digo que generalmente va a ser when, va a indicar pasado. Pero en este caso, we have a comma over here, which is going to help decide. So here we have when. However, we have like an indicator that something was happening at that moment, and this activity stole is going to be shorter than swimming, right? Swimming is going to take a long time. It's going to be longer. So when she was swimming, the thief stole her clothes, right? But again, this is one little exception just because we're using when with ing, right? When she was swimming, the thief stole her clothes. In this case, it's different, right? If we go back, let's see. We go back here. Okay, here it's a continuous action, right? I was watching TV when my sister knocked on the door. There's no comma. It's just basically, it's like if we were, let's say, putting it this way. My sister knocked on the door, comma, when I was watching TV. So we're just dividing the sentence in two, and we're starting with the ending. So in this case, we do need a comma. My sister knocked on the door, comma, when I was watching TV. Again, this is just the order of the sentence. But if the activity is happening simultaneously, we will have to change it to, you know, putting when at the beginning. My sister knocked on the door. I was watching TV. Okay, here is because in this case, comma over here, what the activity that's happening, the main activity, let's say, is watching TV, and the activity that's happening really, really quickly, it's knocked on the door. Now, going back to the example, let's see, the exception is over here, right? The thief was stealing. It's a little bit incorrect just because steal, it's something quick, right? The thief stole her clothes, comma, when she was swimming. Or you can say she was swimming when the thief stole her clothes. So what I want you to kind of understand and not confuse is if we make a little pause, a comma, between the two sentences, that indicates that the activity that happened before is the one that's in simple past. And the activity that happened after is the main activity, the activity with ing. That's just a little exception. That comma is going to help me. It's going to indicate what I have to do. If there is no comma, you have to try to understand what's longer. Okay, there's longer this activity than the other. So my recommendation is divide the sentences in two, okay? If you divide the sentences in two, then you can choose which one is longer, which one is shorter, and then you can decide if you need to use ing or if you need to use past. We have here another example. Let me move to the next slide. Okay. So here we also have a comma, as you can see. Ahmed break his leg when he played basketball. Let me have Valerie, can you help me decide which tense to use?
Ahmed broke his leg when he was playing basketball.
Perfect. So this is another example. We're using when, but we're using a comma. We're separating two activities, right? Ahmed broke his leg, which is something quick, right? If you say it was breaking, that sounds really painful. It seems like it was taking too long. So Ahmed broke his leg when he was playing basketball. Another way to say this, guys, is we can eliminate the comma. All right, we eliminate the comma and we add while. So 1 second. So sorry guys, so we say eliminate the comma and we put while. Okay, that's another way. Now this is grammar, right? When we're speaking, it doesn't really matter because we're not gonna know if there's a comma or not, obviously, when we're talking. But this is more about grammar when we're writing. So Ahmed broke his leg while he was playing basketball. That's another alternative, but we do not need a comma because both activities are kind of happening at the same time. But if one activity happened before, let's say we add a comma and we put when, right? Because that's the main activity in this case. Let's continue with other examples so you guys have it more clear. All right, so that's the correct answer. Okay, so put the verbs between brackets in the correct form. So we have what, I'm gonna do the first one. That would be what when you last night. So we use call and do. So what did you do or what were you doing, we have two options, but we need to decide which one is better. So the activity that happened quickly, is it doing or is it calling? What do you guys think? Let me ask, I don't know, maybe Alejandra, which activity happened before? Or excuse me, quickly. Calling or doing?
I think
What do you think? It doesn't
calling.
calling, right? So if you call somebody, it's usually really quick, right? The call comes through really quick. So in this case, we would use here, oops, sorry, let me go back. We would use here called in past. And here we will have to use past continuous. So that would be
What you
were.
doing? Where are you doing?
Very good. What were you doing when I called you last night? All right. Let me have Bernardo. Can you help me with number 2?
Okay. I was sitting in a cafe when you called.
All right, very good. So sitting is the main activity. I was sitting in a cafe, cafeteria, cafe. That's how we say it. When you called. All right. Very good. Thank you. Let me have Charlene. Can you help me with number 3?
Susie was watching a film when she heard the noise.
Very good. Yes, she was watching a film, when she heard the noise. Film is the same as a movie, right? So she was watching a film when she heard the noise. Thank you. Emmanuel, can you help me with number 4?
We were playing tennis when John hurt his ankle.
Perfect. So we were playing tennis when John hurt. Hurt is going to stay the same, guys. We don't really have to, we don't really have to make any changes to hurt because it's a verb that never changes, okay? Remember to watch the video that I sent you with pronunciation because it's important that you guys know which verbs do not change and how to pronounce them. Thank you. Let's have number 5. Emily, can you help me with number 5?
Were they doing at 10 p.m. last night? It was really noisy.
Okay, so is this something that's happening for a long time or is this happening quickly? What do you think in your opinion?
Quickly.
It could, so this one, I would say it depends on your interpretation, right? If maybe if it says it was really noisy, maybe we can interpret it like, oh, okay, it was probably a long time, right? But it says at 10 p.m., so maybe it just happened at 10 p.m. I would say it's something that happened, it started at 10 p.m. and maybe lasted a little bit longer. So we would say, what were you doing? Remember, we need to use the verb to be.
Okay.
So what were you doing? We use the verb to be first, then the subject, then ing. You could also say, what did you do? But that sounds like it was too quickly. What did you do at 10 p.m. last night? It was really noisy. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the hint, la clave, is this one. It was really noisy. Porque me está indicando que tal vez fue algo que fue, o sea, había mucho ruido, vamos a escuchar música o el tele muy duro o algo así. Entonces puede ser que haya sido una actividad más larga, ¿verdad? Si no tuviera esto, it was really noisy, it would be, what did you do at 10 p.m. last night? It would be totally fine to use simple past. But because we have, it was really noisy, I would say personally that I would interpret it as past continuous. All right, let's have Isaac. Can you help me with number 6? Thank you, Emily.
He was taking a shower when the telephone rang.
Very good. He was taking a shower when the telephone rang. Perfect. So the taking a shower is longer and the telephone rang with something quickly. All right. So let's see if we have here more examples. Oh, we have one more. It says, write a short paragraph about what your family and you were doing yesterday. So what I will ask you to do, if you can, is just write it on the chat. You can just write a little bit of information on the chat about what you were doing yesterday. For example, yesterday I was watching TV and cooking. When my mom called and we had a conversation about something. So you can do like 2 or 3 sentences about something that you were doing yesterday. And I want you to share it on the chat. So you can type it. If somebody wants to say it instead of typing, because some people don't like to type, you can also interrupt and say something, okay? But I would prefer writing because this is a writing exercise, right? But yeah, so I'll give you, I don't know, 5 minutes, a little bit less, for you to write, I would say 3 sentences of something that you were doing yesterday. Try to use simple past and try to use past continuous, okay? I'm gonna write an example on the chat, okay? But you guys try to do that. So let me write something. Do you guys know how to find the chat? It would say más or more, and then it says chatear or chat. Okay. So yesterday, I was watching The Simpsons, for example, and I know this is just one example, all right? So I want you to do something like that and send it to everybody, okay? I hope you're working on that. Reina, do you have a question? I see that you raised your hand. Levantaste la manita.
Yes, teacher.
Go ahead.
I don't understand when you say use comma and while.
Okay, so, okay, we have different ways of writing it, right? So we can use when, we can use while, okay? Generally, when is going to indicate simple past, and while is going to indicate past continuous or progressive. But if we use when with a comma, like before, okay, so we're paying attention here to the comma. That means that that's 2 separate activities. So when is going to indicate past continuous, but only if I have a comma, right? If not, I can use while. So for example, I was studying English, when my dad called. Okay, you could also say I was studying in English, you can say, sorry, my dad called, comma, when I was studying English. Or you could say, while I was studying English, comma, my dad called. You could also say, when my dad called, I was studying English. So as you can see, there's multiple ways to say the same thing. We're just using when sometimes, we're using when with a comma, we're using while at the beginning, so we need to use a comma in the middle, or we're using when at the beginning and we also need to use a comma at the beginning, excuse me, in the middle. But you have to pay attention to the tenses, right? Here we have ing, but here we have simple past. Here we have ing, here we have simple past. So that's basically the structure. But again, you could use while if you want. That's another one that I didn't use. For example, you could say, my dad called while I was studying English. So in this one, it's exactly the same as the first one, but we're using while and we're not using any comma, sin ninguna comma. Okay, is that better? Is that more clear, Reina?
Clear, yes.
Is the idea more clear?
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Guys, I'll give you 2 more minutes to finish your writing. Okay, write on the chat. I only see 2 people, you know, writing. So write something like yesterday, comma, blah, blah, blah. Remember to use past tense and or simple past or past continuous. But if you use past continuous, you need to use was or were. Okay, that's like always.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
When you have words, anyone or someone, what do you use? Was or were?
It's always was. Okay, so someone, anyone, everyone. We're using the combination of some and one. So one indicates singular always.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. If you ask questions, for example, you would say something like, does anyone, was anyone, okay?
Okay.
The only time that you use a plural noun is if you're making a command. For example, everyone, open your book. So everyone is for you to listen, comma, open your book. But if you're saying a regular sentence, you say everyone opens a book. That makes sense? Does that make sense?
Sorry?
Does that make sense? What I just explained makes sense to you?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, perfect. All right, guys, you should submit your answer. Let's go ahead and check. We have Isaac says, yesterday I was working with my uncle when my family went out to do a ride around the mountain near here. At night, we were at our grandmother's house. Okay, so we say, To go on a ride. I think that's my only suggestion. You say just yesterday, I was working with my uncle when my family went out. You could say, it's more common to say to go on a hike, caminar, to go on a hike around the mountain or to the mountains. Isaac, that's my only feedback, okay? To go on a hike up to the mountain, it's more common than to do a ride, okay? Ride is usually for a car, if somebody's gonna take you somewhere. If you're driving, you say to drive around the mountains. But if it's walking, we would say to go on a hike, ir en una caminata o caminar, right? To the mountains. Is that clear, Isaac? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Perfect. You're welcome. Maria Paula, yesterday, I doing homework and drinking apple juice when my mom called me to have dinner. I had dinner while my brother was watching TV. Maria Paula, is there anything that you would change or you would add to that sentence?
Yes. Yesterday I was doing my homework.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So yesterday I was doing my homework. That's the only thing. Everything else, it's clear and it's good. Pamela, yesterday I was watching a series when my friend called me because she had a problem with her mother and she felt bad. Pamela, is there anything that you would change? What do you think?
I don't know.
The only thing, everything, it's actually very good. I would just say series. It's always series for singular and plural. Okay. So I was
Okay.
watching a series in singular and plural. It's the same. 2 series, 3 series. It's just an irregular noun. So we use series. Okay. If you say
Okay.
Siri is Siri is your phone, right? If you have an iPhone, it's like, hey Siri.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, you don't have to say Siri for singular series. Okay.
Okay.
You could also say TV series if that's easier. Okay. Thank you, Pamela. Okay, Bernardo, let's say. Yesterday, I was cooking when my daughter came to help me. My wife was watching TV and she laughed because she's very cute while my son was studying math. Okay, that's good, Bernardo. My only suggestion is you don't have to put the period. No ponga el punto entre cute and while because those two are connected, right?
Okay.
So you can say my wife was watching TV and she laughed because she's very cute while my son was studying math. So you can, if you want, you can add a comma, but
Okay.
no period. Okay.
Okay.
Si
Thank you.
quieres, no agregas nada. All right. All right. Valerie, yesterday I went to visit my grandmother and she was cooking a delicious food for me. Then we were watching a TV show. Was a great day. Okay. Valerie, do you have anything that you would want to change? Do you see anything or you not really?
I don't know, teacher.
Don't worry, that's okay. So the only things, for example, we have yesterday I went to visit my grandmother. That's okay, and she was cooking a delicious food. I would change. Food is generally an uncountable noun. That means I cannot say a food. Okay, so you would say she was cooking delicious food. So I will eliminate the a. Okay, she was cooking delicious food or a delicious dish. You could say a delicious dish or recipe, but we don't have to say a food, right? So we eliminate the a. So she was cooking delicious food for me. Then we were watching a TV show. It was a great day. So the only thing you have to add there, sorry, is it was. You need the subject. It was a great, maybe when you're talking, you don't have to, but when you're writing, it's very important to use the subject, okay? Is that clear?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Emmanuel, yesterday, I'm watching a movie when my mom called me and told me to prepare the dinner. I was making the dinner when my dad asked me for help. Emmanuel, is there anything that you would want to change?
Yes, I was watching TV, a
Perfect.
movie.
Yes, so yesterday I was watching a movie. Perfect. It's good that you guys monitor yourselves and see the mistakes, right? So yesterday I was watching a movie when my mom called me and told me to prepare. The only thing as well, I would say dinner. We don't say the dinner or that breakfast, or that we say dinner, breakfast. So we don't really need the article. So to prepare dinner, I was making the dinner when my dad asked me for help. Here, asked me in past. Okay.
Okay.
So those are the only things. Was watching, then we change it to dinner, and then asked me in past. Is that clear? Is it clear? Yes?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, Alejandra, yesterday I was watching TV when my friend called me. For that, I was speaking with him while my family was eating. Finally, I ate late and my family was sleeping. Alejandra, anything that you want to change before I give you feedback?
I don't know, maybe, I don't know why wrote for that.
Okay, so maybe it's not necessary to use for that. You could say for that reason, okay? Or this is more proper English, more advanced, because say due to that reason, it's the same, debido a esa razón, for that reason. So you could say, yesterday I was watching TV when my friend called me. For that reason, you could say, I think it sounds much better. That's why, that is why, or something like that, right? Or just eliminate the for that if you don't need it. So you say, I was speaking with him while my family was eating. Finally, I ate late when my family was sleeping. That's correct. Perfect. Thank you, Alejandra. Maria Quiroz, we have yesterday in the morning, I was playing soccer in my house when my mother prepared the lunch, and in the afternoon, I was studying for 2 hours, and after, I was connecting to the oral class. Okay, Maria Quiroz, is there anything that you would want to modify, change? What do you think?
I don't know, teacher.
It's okay. So we have yesterday in the morning. I would not add a comma. You can say yesterday in the morning altogether. No comma there. And then the comma would be after morning. Yesterday in the morning, comma. I in capital letters. Okay, tiene que ser mayúscula siempre. I was playing soccer. You could say at home sounds more common. Instead of in my house, it sounds more common in English to say at home. When my mother prepared lunch. So here we don't say the lunch. We say lunch. She prepared lunch. And in the afternoon, here you could say, puedes poner un punto after lunch. You could say punto. In the afternoon, comma. Okay, es una sugerencia, pero igual no es un problema tan grave. Entonces puedes decir, and in the afternoon, comma, I was studying for 2 hours, and you can say after that o later, okay? No solamente after, sino que tienes que poner after that, I was connecting to the oral class, or later, I was connecting to the oral class. I was connecting sounds a little bit odd. It's not incorrect. It just sounds a little uncommon. You say I was joining the class, or I was, participating in the class. I was accessing the class. Those are different ways. Connecting, again, is not incorrect. It's just not very common. It's common in present simple. I connect to the class, but in past continuous, it's probably not very common.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maria Quiroz. Okay, Pamela. Yesterday I was watching TV when my math teacher sent me a message about my homework. Period. Un punto. Un punto. She told me to correct my homework. Okay. Entonces esa es la única corrección, Pamela. After homework, un punto o un punto y coma, si quieres, más avanzado. She told me to correct my homework. Y period. Y un punto al final, right? Okay. Sé que estamos chateando, ¿verdad? Pero como es un writing exercise, recuerden poner los puntos al final y todo eso, ¿verdad? Es importante. Okay. Pamela, any questions about yours?
No, teacher. Thank you.
You're welcome. Reina, yesterday I was playing a video games with my son when my father visited in my home. Reina, is there anything that you would want to change? ¿Hay algo que te gustaría cambiar?
Sí, yo quería decir, digamos, que estuve jugando video games cuando mi padre estaba de visita en mi casa, algo así.
Yes, and that's everything is correct in terms of tenses. Todo está muy bien. Lo único es video games is plural. So we don't need to say a video games, all right? We just say video games. So it's nada más quitarle la a antes de video games.
Okay.
But everything else is correct. Perfect, thank you. Okay, Charlene, yesterday I was watching, again, here will be a series, okay? Yesterday I was watching a series when my mom called me to eat. My dad helped her when she was doing dinner while my brother was listening to music. Okay, Charlene, entonces ahí vamos a poner series en plural. Le vamos a quitar the a dinner, so solamente dinner. Y vamos a decir listening to music. Is that clear? You're welcome. Viviana, yesterday I was doing my homework when my best friend, ahí el deletreo está un poquillo mal, pero creo que se entiende. My best friend called me because she needed my help with some math problems, so I helped her all night. Está muy bien, nada más el punto al final y friend deletrearlo correctamente. Questions, Viviana?
No.
Okay, perfect. Naiseth, say that again, I'm sorry. ¿Dijiste algo?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Naiseth, yesterday I was taking a shower and singing when my mother called to go to the supermarket for food. My brother was sleeping when my mother woke him up, right? Ahí. Okay, yesterday, aquí nada más cambiaría, por ejemplo, I was taking a shower and singing when my mother called me, okay, called me to go to the supermarkets, con una T, supermarkets, okay, for food, or, for groceries. Sometimes we say groceries, cuando es que quería comprar o algo, groceries. My brother was sleeping when my mother woke him up. Si es called us, puede ser también, en vez de called me, puede ser called us a nosotros.
Okay, teacher.
You're welcome, Naiseth. Say that again, question?
No, teacher, thank you.
You're welcome. Emily, yesterday, mayúscula yesterday, comma, okay, no punto. I did homework. When my father arrived, we had dinner and played cards as a family. We lived a very funny movie all together. It was funny and we watched a movie. Emily, ¿hay alguna corrección que quieras hacer? Any correction?
Sí, digamos, donde yo puse we live era we watched a movie.
Okay, correct. So yesterday I did homework, period, un punto después de homework, mayúscula.
Okay.
When my father arrived, comma, una coma después de arrived, we had dinner, sin la A, okay, we had dinner. Dinner no se puede contar, so we had dinner and played cards as a family. Y ahí está bien un punto. We watched en pasado a very funny movie all together. Together se escribe así. And it was funny. Okay, it was funny. No worries. Okay, for next time, guys. But thank you so much for participating with the chat. Just real quick before we finish our Zoom session, I want to go ahead and take a look at the book real quick. In the book, really, I don't really like this reading. I don't really think it's very interesting. So I'm going to try to find a new reading for you que esté como más actualizada, okay? So we're going to do that next class. Here we have some vocabulary, and that's a little bit important to study, right? We have phrasal verbs with get. We have get along. Let me make it bigger. Get away, get back, get out of, and get over. So anybody knows, for example, get along, what do you think it is? Return, recover from, escape, be friends, or leave? What do you guys think when you get along with somebody? Does anybody know? What about get away? Do you understand get away?
Leave, maybe.
Leave or escape? It could be, yeah. It makes more sense get away, like escape. But we're gonna see in a minute. Maybe it's get out of, but we're gonna see. Get back, what about get back?
Return.
Return. Get out of? Get out of is more leave, right? When you get out of a place, you're leaving a place. And get over, what do you think get over?
Recover from.
Recover, okay? So when you recover from a disease, an illness, or maybe you broke up with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend, you had a really bad day, so you're getting over, superar. So get along is be friends. So if you get along with somebody, you're being friends. You have a good relationship with that person. Get away, it's escape. Okay, get away from home. So you have to escape home. Get away from a place. So maybe it's because you're in danger, in peligro or something, right? So get away. Get back, return, get out of, leave, and get over, superar algo, right? To recover from. I will send you a little video after class about like explaining this with examples. And what I need you to do is I want you to write on Edmodo, when I upload the video, cuando suba el video a Edmodo, I want you to write 5 sentences using each of the phrasal verbs. So estos 5 verbos, phrasal verbs, ¿verdad? Son con una frase. Quiero que ustedes escriban una oración de cada uno, all right? Usando los phrasal verbs. Okay? Pero les voy a mandar un video después de la clase donde yo les explico más detalladamente qué es cada cosa. Y acá abajo tenemos grammar workout, right? We have past progressive, que ya ustedes saben que hay que usar el verbo to be. She was waiting, right, for the next big wave when she saw the shark, right? In this case, saw. She asked everyone, when can I surf again? While, recuerden que while usualmente indica ing, while she was recovering in the hospital. We use the simple past to describe an event or a short action in the past, and we use the past continuous or progressive to describe a longer activity or to give the background to an event. We have also pronunciation. This is the last thing we're going to do. We have some words. I'm going to pronounce them, and I want you guys to pronounce them with me, okay? All together. So I don't want you to be on mute. I want you to try to participate at the same time. So the first one is championship. So championship. Can we all pronounce it?
Championship.
Championship.
Championship. Go ahead.
Championship.
Everybody at the same time. Championship.
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 Okay. Good. All right. Change.
Change.
Championship.
Change. Competition.
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 Change.
There's some people that's very slow.
Alguien va a tener-
Echo.
Okay.
Echo.
Competition.
Then we have international.
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 Okay. I was expecting competition from somebody. Okay. International. Then we have ocean.
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 International.
Sorry. Oh my God, this is funny. Okay, which one was the next one?
Ocean.
Oh yeah, ocean.
Ocean.
Oh, sorry. Ocean. Okay, then professional.
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 Professional. Then we have punch.
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 Shark.
Shark.
Shout.
Professional. Punch.
Sorry.
Shark.
Okay, shark. Sorry, let's continue because we're not
Shout.
gonna finish. Shout.
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 Again, guys, this is funny. Okay, shout and then watch.
Watch.
What?
Yes, shout. Okay, now as you can see, CH, usually this is a pattern, okay? Hay excepciones. Pero CH usually is stronger.
Watch.
Watch. For example.
Sorry.
No worries. So watch. It's a little stronger. It's like saying chancho, right? Chancho, chancho. It's stronger. The other one is SH, which is like shh, like silence. Shh, shh. So that one is a little bit, let's say soft. So this is strong. This one is soft, like shh. Now, there might be exceptions, okay? For example, if we have the word chef, because some words are like French words. So if they're French words or they have like an origin from France, it's usually pronounced sh. So this is pronounced chef. Okay, chef. There are other ones, for example, brochure, for example, right? So brochure, we're gonna say sure, brochure, with a sh sound. We also have machine, for example, machine, so it's sh. And we also have, for instance, what's the other one? Chicago, right? For example, the state. We don't say Chicago, right? That sounds very Latin American. We say Chicago, Chicago. Okay, so those are exceptions, but generally the rule is if we spell it with CH, si lo deletreamos con CH, is ch, which is here. This one over here, like beach. But if it's spelled with an SH, is generally this one over here, splash, for example. Another example, let's see. Well, we have championship. Would you put it in the sh sound or the ch sound? The first one or the second one? Championship. What do you think?
Second one.
Second one, right? Championship. Ship here, sí sería la primera, pero champ, like championship, sería the second one. Change, first or second? What do you think? Change.
Second one.
The second one, very good. Competition?
First one.
First one. when we have shun, that ends, it's usually sh, con la terminación tion, right? Shun. Then we have international. First one or second one?
First.
First one.
First one. Ocean.
First one.
Professional.
First one.
Punch.
Second.
Second one.
Second one. Shark.
First.
First one.
The first one. Shout.
First one.
And watch.
Second one.
Second one. Very good. Okay. So any questions about pronunciation, about the past progressive? We will definitely continue reviewing this, but I don't know if you have any questions, any doubts. No, nobody has a question? Okay, we will do a different reading next class because again, I don't really like this reading. I know you guys have homework, so I will give you a week. I would recommend if you can do the homework today, I will still be connected. If you have questions, you can ask me, but I would prefer that this last minutes you spend it on the homework. You don't really have to do the first part because it's about the reading, but if you want to practice, because it's only completing, right, with the verb in past progressive. So all of them are going to be past progressive. So you can complete it if you want to. You don't really have to, do the reading, but you can complete it. And that's basically about these images that you have here. So you have to look at the image and you have to try to use simple past or past progressive. Okay, for example, what was Anna doing when the balloon landed? She was reading a newspaper. So you can write a question and write an answer using the same phrases. Okay, you have eat ice cream, lie on the ground, play soccer, skateboard. Here is exactly the same. We have simple past and past progressive again. So you look at the picture and try to, make sentences like the ones that you sent me on the chat. So very, very similar. You have here the vocabulary. You also have a vocabulary section about the phrasal verbs. I will send you a quick video about that. So you have to just complete it. And this is a crossword about vocabulary. This crossword, it's about the reading. So if you want to do it, you can. If not, I will do it with you next class because you have to read, the reading here on this page. So, but you don't have to do it because I think we can use the same words with a different reading. But I will do that for next class. In pronunciation, you have to do this one. It's about rhyming words. So what words rhyme? So you have to circle them in each line. Any questions about homework, guys? I will be posting the homework here.
Teacher.
Yes, go ahead.
No soy Reina, soy Melijo.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
My mom is question with me for the homework. Where's page?
Oh, okay, yes. The page would be, that's nice of you to ask. I know she was buying the book or something, right? It would be, tell her page 94 and 95.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Any other question? Anybody else? No questions, guys? If you have questions while you're doing the homework, you can ask me on WhatsApp. This is basically everything for today's class on Zoom. But thank you so much for connecting. Before we just finish, lo voy a decir en español. Me gustaría saber si tienen alguna sugerencia acerca del curso, si están satisfechos hasta el momento. Coméntenme brevemente cómo se sienten al respecto. ¿Qué les parece? Creo que nos estábamos acomodando y ya vamos como un poco mejor, ¿no? Ya la mayoría sabe cómo funciona todo, la metodología. Pero sí me gustaría escuchar, no sé, a algunos decir su opinión.
Teacher, yo creo que lo estamos logrando. El cambio naturalmente tenía que significar acomodarnos, pero siento que estamos sacándole provecho y que vamos hacia adelante. Entonces, le agradezco el esfuerzo que está realizando y creo que vamos por buen camino.
Perfecto, muchas gracias, Bernardo. Sí, esa es la idea, ¿verdad? Obviamente, esto es nuevo para todos, tanto para los profes como para los estudiantes. Una nueva plataforma, una nueva metodología. Entonces, y no, obviamente, uno espera que sacarle provecho y que ustedes vayan aprendiendo, ¿verdad? Para mí es mejor porque así ustedes no se atrasan, ¿verdad? Con su nivel. Entonces, espero que sí. ¿Alguien más quiere como comentar algo? ¿Nadie más? ¿No? ¿Todos están satisfechos?
Yes, teacher. Sí.
Bueno, qué dicha. Nada más para comentarles, yo pienso que es un poco rápido, pero alcanza y nos está pidiendo enviarles un link para que ustedes ya más detalladamente nos vayan indicando qué les ha parecido, como una encuesta de satisfacción. Entonces, yo lo que voy a hacer es mandárselas después de que les mande el video con los phrasal verbs y un video revisando la tarea. Entonces, ese video lo quiero mandar porque así no gastamos tiempo revisando tarea porque si no se nos va el tiempo en eso. Si ustedes después de ver el video tienen alguna pregunta de la tarea que no entendieron, me pueden escribir en privado y podemos sacar un momentito para ver qué es esa pregunta. También recuerden que ustedes pueden mandarme un mensaje si ocupan como revisar un tema nuevamente y si ustedes están disponibles y yo también, podemos reunirnos brevemente y que ustedes no tengan ninguna duda con respecto a los temas o los contenidos. Entonces, sí, les voy a mandar esa encuesta después de que les mande esos 2 videos y sí les agradezco que contesten lo más honestos posibles y también completo, ¿verdad? Que lo traten de hacer lo más completo posible. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for today's class. I appreciate that you joined the class and do your homework, okay? Ya voy a abrir una pestañita para que puedan subir la tarea. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, take care.
Bye.